Hello everybody, this is Toys R Us, and for this special figure showcase and comparison video, we're going to be looking at the main differences between a standard Generation 1 cab and indeed the new Missing Link figure. This video is especially for friend and subscriber of the channel, B127 Guy, who we met at the MCM Comic Con. So what we're going to do is exactly that. So just a quick reminder, obviously the Missing Link, you can get the Optimus Prime one as well. We're just going to use the Sentinel one for this because the cab is exactly the same. The same as this here. This is the new colour scheme of the new Generation 1 cab, but is exactly the same as your vintage Generation 1 cab as well. I just thought I'd use the updated moulds just to give you a better idea, or in case anybody else wants to know as well. Now the cabs look pretty much the same from the outside, and to be honest, there's not too much differences. You've still got your rubber tyres on these, which is brilliant. You've got your smokestacks. I'm not going to go into the differences in the colour because obviously there's massive differences in the colour. What we're just talking about is the cab, the transformation, and indeed the articulation. So we'll start with your standard cab. This one's the super simple. Fold the legs forward, fold the toes out, and because it's old school, you have to actually attach your fists to it as well, which, as I say, anybody who had this when they were a kid will remember doing exactly what I'm doing right now. The only difference with this is, as I said, what they've done is they've given him cartoon deco, which is still fantastic. It also, however, unfortunately means though that you can never put the gun pointing forward because it just doesn't fit over that part of his forearm. Right, so I'm going to transform the other one, then we'll get them side by side and we can do some of the articulation differences, which of course is where the Missing Link basically really shows off its strength, if you're wondering which one to get with regards to that. So what we'll do with this, when you start to take this part out here, you'll see that the fists are already built in, which is fantastically clever. You can then fold this right the way out. You probably will start to hear some ratchets start to make some noises as well. The head folds over exactly the same. Now the difference on the underside is what you've got to do is you've got to separate this first and foremost to bring it forward. Don't just try and bring this forward because you won't do it any favors whatsoever. You can then fold the feet forward as well, and then you can also move these back down and indeed just correct the arm orientation however you want. As I said, Missing Link Red Prime is exactly the same. Standard G1 cab is exactly the same. We've just got the different coloured versions of them going on here. Now of course, main brilliant difference is the fists were already built in to the cab, which is awesome, which of course means that you can now just put the gun in and it will face forward. You haven't got to worry about missing fists. With regards, I suppose, to the other main difference is in the original G1 Prime, there is nothing inside there, whereas with the Missing Link, you do have a matrix chamber and indeed a matrix. Now, if you've seen the full review, you can detach this if you want to. Oops, there we go. I've done it anyway. And you can, of course, just have the standard cab if you wanted to. Okay, so this is the big thing. This is where the Missing Link really, I suppose, shows off what it's all about, because the G1 articulation is as follows. Arm all the way around. That's just got ratchets on it. The other ones I don't believe had it. Let me just double check that now, unless they did. Oh, they might have done. Oh yeah, they did. It's just really old. I just don't remember mine making that noise at all. So arms will go all the way around. They won't come out to the side at all. And you've got bicep flexion. And of course you've got wrist flexion or wrist rotation, because of course you're just putting them in. You can't do anything else with the legs. The legs will go back, but that's only for transformation. And the feet, if you want to, you can say is a sort of toe tap, but it doesn't really sort of benefit it. That's probably the most dynamic pose that you could get with him with this particular figure. So again, super basic, but that's of course what made it fun. Whereas what makes this guy fun is the abundance of things that you can do with him. So you can turn at the elbow like so. You can bend it up, the wrists will still turn around. There's actual articulation in the fingers, which is great. The arms will go out to the side as well, so you can have the full T if you wanted to. These actually act as hip skirts, whereas on this one they're completely fused, which you can see. The legs, here we go, we need to slide these over. That's it. That's what you need to do. Slide them right over. I forgot to do that, in all honesty. You can of course bend your knee as normal, take them out to the side. You can see that you can swivel loads of what's going on at the back here. There's loads of movement that you can give it. The feet, You can completely twist and turn the toes, point down, etc. as well. The really crazy thing about this figure as well is he genuinely has an ab crunch as well. So not just bending him forward, which to be honest you can't even do with this one. It won't bend forward at all, whereas with this one you can bend him forward and you can give him an ab crunch as well. So again, loads and loads and loads. It's up to you guys. I can't pick between the two, that's why I had to get them, even though I've got countless Generation 1 Optimus Prime cabs. I really liked this because of course it's in a different deco, and then this just blew my mind. And again, I know it's exactly the same as the Optimus Prime one, just in a bright yellow deco, but I think most people who collect Transformers, let's be honest, we're a bit of a sucker for Generation 1 Optimus Prime or the cab. Obviously main points, accessories, you're not going to lose them because they're already built in. It just depends where you're at. And the reason why I'm doing this is, I suppose, if you went for the normal just cab of the missing link, it's the same price as the full package of this one. So it's obviously this one with the trailers are obviously a bit more expensive, but you've got so much more with it. Again, just depends what you're after. And as I say, this was just a quick video to give you an idea, just in case people are wondering. But of course, it is mainly for at B127 guy. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope everybody else found it interesting. Thanks for watching, guys. Take care.